Hi guys, part 2 of loose leash walking. Once you've done a fair amount of practice with the red light, green light game, the stop and go, you will have taught the dog that once he gets in front of you, all movement stops and then he needs to get back into position in order to get the reward. So after maybe about like a week's worth of practice with the red light and green light game, the dog starts to understand that all the reward happens right next to you, and you'll start to see a change in pulling in the controlled environment. If you start to add distracting environments, you're gonna have to reteach and do the red light, green light game because every new environment is gonna be different for the dog. So again, practice in a very controlled environment, and then we're gonna broaden the scope. So the second step to loose leash walking is not only rewarding the dog when they get back to your leg, but rewarding the dog when they remain walking next to you in position. So I'll give you an example of that with Vegas. All right, loose leash walking means exactly loose leash walking. There should be no tension on the leash. The dog should be in position next to you of his own volition. So, but if he gets ahead of you, same thing. Red light, lure them back. You're gonna be doing a lot of that to start, because puppies are going to need a ton of direction in that way, especially when you start to go into newer, different environments. So pro tip, the more feedback you give the dog, the better off the dog is going to be. If they're constantly hearing that they're doing a good job, they're going to be more prone to focus on you instead of hearing nothing and then finding something else to kind of focus in on. So the more that you talk to the dog, the more that you verbally praise the dog during this time is going to be a huge component for success. So let me demonstrate this with Vegas, and notice how many times I'm going to treat him while I'm walking, because it's going to be a big thing for success with a puppy as well. All right, again, name and let's go to start. Vegas, let's go. Atta boy, what a good job. I'm bending down a little bit. Can you follow me? Vegas, let's go. Good boy. So notice how the leash is, I'm gonna keep walking towards you, keep going backwards, sorry. Vegas, let's go. Notice how the leash is very slack. I'm not pulling up like this. My arm is nice and relaxed down next to him. All right, and he's walking really nicely next to me. Vegas, let's go. Anytime I make a drastic change in direction, I'm going to tell him his name and let's go, because that's going to key him in that he's moving. Vegas, let's go. Good boy, buddy. So I'm reaching in my treat pouch and then kind of bending down to treat him near my knee. Vegas, let's go. Good boy, buddy. I know I'm getting a little dizzy, all right? So if you have a little puppy, you're probably gonna have to do a little bit more bending, but I like to deliver the treat literally right next to my knee, because what that does is it teaches the dog, teaches the dog to kind of fall a little bit behind in order to get the treat. Vegas, let's go. So again, you're gonna be doing a fair amount of frequent treating. Good boy, what a good job. Talking to him like this. When you're practicing loose leash walking. All right, and once the dog is proficient at this, then you're gonna be able to add distance, and then you're gonna be able to change up the environment and add more distractions. Anytime that you are not practicing loose leash walking, you need to use a leash wrap. There's a video that's gonna show you how to do the leash wrap, but it's very important that when you're not actively practicing this activity, use the leash wrap so the dog doesn't learn to pull otherwise. All right.